it's a booger to get her in there. I'm manhandling this larva. Welcome back. In today's video, I was going to show you some of the things I've been making. I'm going to tell you a book, don't buy it. I've done the work for you, don't buy this book that I'm going to show you. And I'm also going to show you one of my yarn purchases. I bought these things mid-December or right around Christmas. I don't remember. It's all a blur at this point. This was before my January goals, so this doesn't count. I've just been sitting on this and I finally have time to show you what I did during the holidays, because I didn't go through the holidays without buying yarn. No, I should have, but I didn't. Also, Carl is feeling a little bit lovey-dovey. He got some hearts. I took off his Christmas ornaments. He's just got hearts on him that I made last year out of my retro red heart yarn that I love. I love those colors. I'm not a red heart fan, but that yarn, I love it. And Carl is feeling my love for the retro yarn. I really think that green and those hearts look beautiful together. Turquoise for the win every time. First, though, I want to show you what I have done goals-wise. Look at this. I've written down the things I've made so far this year. They're written. I would like a pat on the back, even if it's just from myself, because this is big. Admittedly, this is only 3 days, but it's really big in my world. I have somewhat accomplished a goal for 3 whole entire days. I'm so proud. Next, I wanted to show you what those things are that I wrote down, because I'm also really proud of these. These are precious and I love them, even though one of them is kind of a flub all the way through, but she's beautiful. She really turned out so cute. The first one is this little girl. This is Clara, and she is named Clara after my grandma. I adored my grandma. She was just the best thing since sliced bread. I loved her and I miss her. Now I have a little butterfly named after her with little hearts on her wings to make me think of my grandma. And this pattern is from the Beetles, Bugs and Butterflies book. And I actually reviewed this book in one of my previous videos, but I honestly had not worked out of the book. And I didn't think it was right that I give a review on that book and not work out of it. I have worked out of it now. And my opinion is still high. It is changed a little bit though. It's a beautiful book. It has gorgeous pictures. It's a hardback. It has a cute little story at the beginning of the book that her husband wrote. But there's not a lot of pictures of things to help you while you're making the little beetle, bug, butterfly, moth, larva thing. There's not a lot of those pictures. There's a bunch of finished pieces, but not necessarily photos to help you while you're in the making process. Now, the way these work is you are building a butterfly. You start off at the beginning of its life cycle. So you start with the little cocoon. This is what was hard, and it's wrong. I use my Sheepjes stonewash, and I love that stuff. I do not like cotton yarn, but this is different. It really is. The Sheepjes yarns, they're really awesome, especially for amigurumi. I do love them for this. I have a ton of little mini skeins. I'm trying to use up some of those. They're just so pretty. They shouldn't be sitting on my shelf. I should use them to make something. And for small amigurumi, they're perfect. Now, I did run out of this bright lime color, so I switched to this dark green, and it was already on the front. This is where the problem is in this hood, because I could not tell what she was talking about. I didn't know whether I was supposed to go backwards or loop around. I was just confused. So I just made up my own thing, and it's wrong. What happens is her little wings come off. It's kind of like a little turtleneck bracelet that fits around her body. So you take off her wings, and then you can take off her hat or leave it on, and then you put her inside the cocoon. And it's a booger to get her in there, because man, I gotta feel bad. I mean, I'm manhandling this larva to get in there. But there she is. She is in here. And this book is similar to the Impkins book, where you can make decisions about what kind of bug, beetle, or butterfly you want to make. You can change the hat, the antennas, the body can be solid or striped. You can have a different type of cocoon depending on what kind of bug it is. You have a lot of options. I really like that. But when you are deciding what thing you want to do with your creation, she puts it all in one pattern and she assigns a letter to each body type. For instance, you can do the solid body, you can do the narrow striped body, or the wide striped body. And each one of those has a letter. And so beside the row that you're working on, she'll put the letters that corresponds to. And it's just like alphabet soup. It gets confusing. I wish she had broken it down to where it's the solid, the narrow stripes, the wide stripes. I wish there was a little bit more of that kind of organization because it gets confusing. That's my biggest complaint. If I were to rate it on a scale of 1 to 5 stars, I would give it a 4. It's still high. It's still a wonderful book. I just don't like the organization of the patterns. And I wish there were more photos of the process. There's lots of beautiful finished pieces, but not necessarily ones to help you while you're building and deciding on what to make. Other than that, though, I absolutely love the book. And of course, I love Clara. My granny butterfly is going to be back there. That'll make me happy because I really loved my grandma. Now this next little one, she's a little quirky. I take full credit for that because once again, I was adding things that maybe I shouldn't have done in the first place to make it weird. But because it's me, I have a habit of doing that. So there are some oddities on this one, but she's adorable. We're going to have to fight about this if y'all don't think this one is cute because she's cute. Her name is Tulip. It's a chico. I love her. I really do. And there's so much of her that was not supposed to happen. But it happened because I was covering up other things that I had done. So a lot of her is an accident. Now this is an Impkin, but it is not the Impkin body. This is the body that my friend Julie at KS Mom Crochets designed. And it's based off of the Impkin body, but it's so much better. It is so much easier. The only thing you are sewing on are her arms. You build it from the legs up. She did a beautiful job, and it doesn't have the weird pea hole that a lot of people are talking about. I think in the original designs, that's supposed to be a belly button, but where it falls is not a belly button. It's not. It's another part of anatomy where it falls, and it's just not appropriate, especially if you're making dolls to give to children. You don't want it to have that, if you're catching my drift. You don't want that. And Julie's design gets rid of that, and it's perfect. She has a great pattern that she wrote up, and she also has a tutorial, and I'll put both of those down below. Please check those out because Julie did a wonderful job. And it's designed so that all of the Impkin accessories still fit this body. It's absolutely worth your time to do this body versus the Impkin's body. There's no chain one. It's just better. Go check out Julie's stuff. Now, I gave her some little eyelashes. They don't really look like that though. They kind of look like crow's feet. At least that's what we call them when you get older, crow's feet, right here on the sides. But those are eyelashes in the Impkin world. She's got some blush on, and I've been dying to make the mushroom hat, so I did. And once again, I'm using my Sheepjes little mini skeins, and they are this size. They're tiny. I ran out of my turquoise. Again, I'm so sorry. I just love the color. I can't help it. It calls to me. I ran out right up here at the top, so I changed to purple because I thought that would go. But since I had to change colors, I was like, well, I don't want it to be the flat mushroom hat now. I want to make it look a little different, like this was intentional. So it had a little point. But then after I finished, I was like, you know, that doesn't look right. It needs more. That point is not enough. So then I added these little spots that are in a lighter purple. And I thought, well, that's cute. That's not enough. We need something more up here on the top. Then I added these leaves. It reminded me of a turnip. And turnips have this stuff at the top, I think. I don't know. I don't really eat turnips. I've just seen pictures. I think they're all purple. They don't have any turquoise on them. But this is a magical land. There can be turquoise turnips with purple tops and purple polka dots. That is very possible in a magical land. And I think that's what happened here with Tulip. Now Tulip, she is very bashful. You know she is bashful and being shy when her leaves are all curled up like this, but once Tulip gets to know you, her little flower just opens right on up and there's a little bud in here. And it's weird, but it's so cute too. It's weird and cute all at once. All of these things are in the Impkins book. These leaves are in the Impkins book. The hat, I just made up circles. I mean, it's a circle. Easy peasy. And then because I don't like to sew, these are glued on. I'll glue. They look wonderful that way. And I did not have to sew. Even better. Now her clothes, the top is actually the vest from the patterns. I just turned it around backwards. This is the back of the vest. And right here, I sewed it together. But now Tulip has a little tummy. The vest doesn't close up all the way. And I could have made it a little bit bigger, but I thought, no, this is going to be fine. I probably should have made it a little bigger. But I thought the skirt's going to fix this. So when I made the skirt, I sewed it back up here in the back so that it covered up the hole that was left between her back and her bottom. But in doing so, it shows her butt now. I'm walking a fine line between showing her back and showing her butt. Obviously, I chose the worst option. That wasn't on purpose. I thought the skirt was going to cover up her booty. It just didn't. But how many people are going to be looking for Tulip's booty? I don't think really anybody, because she's going to be sitting back here. Nobody's going to be thinking, boy, that turnip girl, she'd be showing some stuff. I don't think anybody's going to think that. She and I talked. She's fine with this. She's a little bit on the edge of fashion. And see, now she's all relaxed. Because she knows you now. Put your petals down, girl. There we go. Now she's all relaxed. So now we'll have Tulip and Clara back there. Now, this next book. I hate giving bad reviews to books because I know the designer behind them worked so hard. I mean, they designed the patterns, they wrote them up, they got them published. It's a lot of work, and I want to give that person credit for all the work that they did. It should not be discounted that they worked hard. My problem is that this particular book, I think the issue is that this person is from Germany and probably wrote these patterns in German. And then in the translation of bringing them over into English, it was done in a really weird way. And it is not a format that most of us are used to reading. And I think that is the biggest problem. That book is the one I just got, my unicorn book. I don't really like this book at all. I have a couple of things to say about the cover. For one, you think this is all unicorn amigurumi. You would think by looking at this, there's this unicorn, there's this unicorn egg cover, a laying down unicorn, and a sitting up unicorn. You would think it's all amigurumi, and it's not. It is unicorn themed items. They are ranging from pillows, mobiles, there's a sweater, there's a jacket, there's hats, there's a cowl, there's a purse. There's all kinds of things in here. There are 50 projects, really and truly a ton of different things, and they are all written weird. Let me show you what I made. I chose this project because it was the easiest one, and I didn't even do it like it said to. It's a bookmark. It's a rainbow bookmark. I changed everything. I really didn't like the pattern. Part of it was not in rainbow order. If you're going to make a rainbow, you need to make the rainbow in rainbow order. So I did it like it's supposed to be, Roy G. Biv. And it wasn't like that. That bothered me. Like I said, I have perfectionist tendencies. This was one of them. Even the bottom, these were actually supposed to be just straight down. This was a chain 8, but it had the starting yarn on there. And so if you're trying to weave that back in to just this little bitty tiny starting chain, that's miserable. So I just tacked it up here. And I think it looks better like that anyways. I even changed the cloud. The cloud, once I made it, was too small. I wanted it bigger than the rainbow. Probably part of the reason is because my rainbow is bigger than her rainbow, because I didn't really understand what she was saying is part of the problem. I didn't get it. One of the things that she does that's a little confusing is instead of decreasing, she says to skip stitches. And that's where I kind of think maybe there was something that was not written correctly. I tried to make one of the amigurumi and I just couldn't get through the pattern. It was just too much. And I felt bad about that, but I am not gonna just kill myself trying to figure out a pattern. This just isn't a great book. And again, I think it's because it was lost in translation. This did not come over into English well at all. if that's the problem. If that's the way she wrote the patterns, it's a very confusing way. Another example is when you are increasing on your rows. Hers is increase every second stitch, and then you should have this many stitches at the end. Increase every third stitch, and you should have this many stitches. And I just got lost. I know that's not hard. I know what she's doing, but it just confused me and I couldn't get it to work for me. So I suggest don't get this book. Save your money for something else that you would enjoy more. Yarn, another pattern book. I will be showing more pattern books coming up. I have high hopes for the Wallace and Gromit because I think that's what I'm going to be working on next. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is a yarn purchase I made right before Christmas. And I did this because Shannon at the Spoony Stitcher sent me a note and said, hey, Lion Brand, they're having a sale. I think it was you had to get 6 skeins at $2 a piece, something like that. I can't remember. And it doesn't matter if I don't remember because I did it wrong. So I didn't get the deal that everybody else got because I can't maths right. And it was various yarns. It was Schitt's Creek yarn, which I'm not gonna lie, I just wanted to buy Schitt's Creek so I could say that word on my camera and it not be bad. I might say it more than necessary just because in everyday life that word gets used a lot here at my house. It's Texas. I married a guy that's a sailor and works in the oil field. That's a very big word in that realm. You had to buy 6 of something. I got on there and I found some ones to try, and I was putting what I thought were multiples of 6. I don't know why that seemed hard to me, but I'd put in what I thought was a multiple of 6, but I guess I wasn't doing that. It was late when I was shopping. I should never shop late or tired. I shouldn't do that because bad things happen. And so I did not pay a reasonable price for these things because I can't multiply. And that's just sad. But let me show you what I did for the sale that I didn't get the sale on. Part of what was in the sale was the Schitt's Creek yarn. And I'd been wanting to try it. I'd heard good things. And I have been running low on black. So I thought I will try this because it's worsted. I'm going to be honest. I thought it would be softer than it is. It is an acrylic yarn. It has a feel to it, but I've heard good things. Probably after I work with it, I'll like it better. But as for texture wise, I don't know how to explain it, but it doesn't have the soft feel like my paint box yarns that are also 100% acrylic. They don't have this feel to it. They are much softer. But I bought this one. This color is Black Crow. Everything is themed after something from the show. If you watch the show, which you should watch the show, it's so good. Evidently, I got 2 of the black. I got 2 of this cream color. This one is called Hide Your Diamonds. That's not cute. It feels softer to me than the black does, though. They have a different texture, but you know, when you have a darker color, there's just more pigment in those, so they do feel different. Yarn thickness changes when they add those pigments and stuff, so there is a different texture. It still has a little bit of that plastic feel, but not quite like the black does. And I actually am using one of these, so I actually have 3 of these. And then I got this color, which is called A Little Blush. That's cute. And this is like a champagne color. I am needing some new skin tones, and that's part of why I was gonna try some of these because I thought this would be a pretty skin tone color. So that was a multiple of 6. That should have gotten the deal. Okay, I see the problem now. I also got this color. I know, turquoise. Man, I tried to not to. I tried to not to, but it calls me and I have to. Now this color is Shared Wall. This is the color of the wall that separated their motel rooms from the mom and dad and the brother sister. But I see the issue now. I have 8, not a multiple of 6 now. There's the problem. That's why I paid full price. I get it now. And like I said, I am needing some skin tone colors and I needed more browns. I was out of hair colors. I have never tried their skin tones. I got a lighter brown, and then I got a darker brown, and I did get 6 of these. I also got the Lion Brand Basic Stitch Anti-Pilling. I only got 4 of these. I think I was thinking you needed to get multiples of 6. It didn't matter which brand, but it mattered which brand. I think that was the problem. I had 8 of the Schitt's Creek and then I had 4 of these, so I thought that would be the 12. That's where I think the problem lies. That wasn't the case. You needed it to be all in one brand. Looking back now, that makes a lot more sense than what I did. But like I said, I was tired. I don't do smart things when I'm tired. The last little group is some more of the skein tones, and I got 2 of this pinkish color. This reminds me of the Caron Simply Soft because it has a little bit of that shine, but it's very soft. This will be cute for a body color though. This one's kind of a yellowy color, but this is probably a really nice hair color. The last one are these, is this color, what is this color? It is called Ginger Root. This is like a brassy blonde kind of color. I'm excited to try these. I've never tried these yarns before, but also I need to work on my maths and reading instructions better. But thank you, Shannon, for helping me spend more money. My husband was very excited. He didn't know I did this. Let's see, I think that's everything I did in unboxing, but Schitt's Creek and some other yarn. And I did a book review. Don't buy the unicorn book. Don't do that one. That's a no. And I made Clara and Tulip. One might have hoochie clothes and the other one is like my grandma. She's real cute and sweet like my granny. And we can't leave out the fact that I wrote down what I did this last week. Goal accomplished, like a little bit. We're like 2 weeks into the year, but I did it for 3 days. That's something special for me, knowing me and how I don't do that. I'm kind of proud. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.